In this presentation, we look at clearing open items. Open items are incomplete transactions, which means they are still open. The system is expecting some kind of cross transaction for that open item to be cleared. For example, pending customer payment. So you are expecting a customer payment, and once a payment comes through, then you can clear that pending customer payment line item. So it will change from an open item to a cleared item. Similarly, outstanding vendor payment. You have posted a vendor invoice. So now that open vendor invoice is a open line item. And once you make the payment against that vendor invoice, then you can clear that line item. Hence, that line item will go from open status to cleared status. By default, all customer and vendor line items are initially an open line item when you do the transaction. Similarly, there are some general ledger accounts also can be classified as an open line item. You need to set this indicator in that control tab of the general ledger master data. Some accounts like bank clearing accounts have to be marked as an open item. Now, if you have an open item, that means you cannot archive that document. For example, you can archive some documents maybe more than 2 years or 3 years old to save system space in your environment. But if that line item is an open item, then you cannot archive it. So hence you can only archive cleared line items. There are two types of open item clearing. One is a posting with clearing, the other one is account clearing. There are some other types of open item clearing as well, but generally we can classify into two main categories, and we look at some examples for these two categories now. Let's look at an example with a posting with clearing scenario. You can use the short transaction code F-51 to do the post with clearing transaction, or you can use the appropriate Fiori application. In this example, you have posted an invoice against Sharp Limited, which is a vendor, for $2,200. So the standard posting will be Sharp Limited, a vendor document type most likely will be KR, a document number will be generated for this, a vendor credit entry of 2,200 and a corresponding expense entry for 2,200. That is the invoice you have posted. But later you realize it should have actually been posted against Staples Limited. You mistakenly chose the wrong vendor. Now what you're going to do? You're going to do the posting with clearing transaction. This saves you the trouble of reversing this invoice and then reposting with the correct transaction. Of course, you have the option of reversing the invoice and redoing it as well. But posting with clearing makes it much easier because in one step itself, it will clear that open item as well as post it against the correct vendor. So this transaction F-51 is quite useful in this scenario. So when you post the posting with clearing transaction, what the system will do, it will post against the correct vendor, Staples Limited. You specify this vendor now. A credit entry of 2,200 will be applied, and then you select the wrong vendor which you have posted incorrectly by referencing that correct vendor, that incorrect vendor, Sharp Limited, and debit of 2,200. So the resulting entry you can see the Sharp Limited credit entry, which was an open item. It's coming up in this line, and the entry which you have posted with posting with clearing Sharp Limited a debit amount of 2,200 that is shown in this line. And I have also referenced the document type here, KRKR, AB, including the document number here as well, so you can easily understand that. So at the time of posting this entry itself, these two open line items will automatically convert into cleared items. System will clear these two line items because the amount is the same, and system will generate a clearing document number, which will be this document number over here. So now we have got the transaction where you had initially posted the incorrect invoice. You're doing posting with clearing to correct that invoice by posting with the correct vendor, referencing the wrong vendor, and system will automatically clear the two line items of that incorrect vendor. This is just one simple example. And let's do this in the system so you can understand how the entries are taking place. Now let's copy an existing business partner so we can perform this transaction. You can use this Fiori app, Manage Business Partner Master Data. Let's just simply click on that. And you can search for an existing business partner. select it and click on copy. So for example, I'm going to look for a business partner. I have some business partners in the city of Chicago. Just going to select someone from there. Let me see, for example, I'll choose Office Supplies Limited business partner and then click on copy. Then all the properties of of that business partner will get copied, and you can simply change the text info. For example, name, I'm just going to change it to Moon Trading Limited, and also I can change the search term as well, Moon and Trading over here, and just change the address. Rest of the properties will also get copied automatically. Let's say I'll say Ford Avenue and probably just change the number as well. And simply save the transaction, and a new business partner number will be generated with that information we just provided for the name and the address. So this is your new number for the business partner, and then create a couple of business partners like this, and then we can proceed with the example. Now let's post a vendor invoice for the transaction for the vendor we just created now. So we'll use the create incoming invoices Fiori app for this. It's under the accounts payable invoices category. Let's execute that. And we can specify our vendor we just created now. So I'm going to put that vendor ID 99123451118 over there. That's the one I just created now. Specify some date over here and then give it a reference. For example, let's say test, that is 001, and amount, let me say $1,080 is including tax. So I'll put calculate tax and specify the tax account, which is 1% P1 over here. Sorry, I'll use E1. Where is that? Here it is. Put some text. I'll say vendor open item clearing example, and then go to my GL account, look for a GL account and expense account. I'm going to use office supplies expense. Put the asterisk sign over here. E1 is already selected. Then simply go and select a cost center for that. I'm going to do that now. Type in my cost center for that. See, there it is. Just use this one. Check on simulate to see everything is good. Just press enter to continue. Keep pressing enter. Continue. Let's see. All good. So that's now I'm just going to simply post the transaction. Click on here to post. So now we have posted that vendor invoice. Note down the document number and this company code as well, your company code information. Now we'll do the clearing with this document and for this vendor, because our scenario we are doing is that we have incorrectly posted to Moon Trading and we want to post to the right vendor. So at the time when you're going to post to the right vendor, you should also clear this amount as well. Now let's check the open items. Again, you can go back to a Fiori app or you can use a SAP Easy Access menu. So I'm going to show you how to use the Easy Access menu to look at the open items for a vendor. We can use the transaction code FBL1N for that. And you can specify your vendor account or you can look for all the vendors which you have posted in the system. I'm just going to look at my vendor account which I just posted. I think that is 992345118. That's it. That is Moon Trading, and just look at all the open items. Just leave that as it is and simply execute the transaction. And we can see this is the document we just posted using that Fiori app a little while ago. Amount you can see $1,080. It's in red over here. That means it's an open item. It's not cleared. If it's cleared, it will become green over here. A green box will be there. And you can see the due date is also, you can click on that and see when it's overdue. Now it says it's immediately overdue. $1,080. You can see the text over here, which we just put over there. Now we'll do the processing of the posting with clearing transaction. Because we have incorrectly posted to Moon Trading, we are going to post to the correct vendor, and let's see if this status of red becomes green after doing that posting. Now let's do a small configuration setting, that is for the defining of the tolerance for vendors. You can also use a short transaction code OBA3. So it's under the SPRO menu path, financial accounting, accounts receivable and accounts payable, business transactions, outgoing payments, manual outgoing payments, and defined tolerances. Let's select that. The easiest way to do this is to copy an existing setting. So we'll use this one, 000001, and select that. Click on copy option over there. And I'm going to select my company code M001. Don't worry about the currency, it'll automatically change once I select my company code over there. Just press enter to continue and save. That's all. And all those settings will get copied over there. And we can just simply look at this over here and we'll keep this as it is. No need to do any changes over there. And that should define those tolerances. And at the same time, it will also be applied for the customers as well. So you don't have to go and do it separately another customer section. So let's come to the easy access menu path. We come to accounts payable, document entry, other. F-51 with clearing is the transaction I'm going to use now. So I'm going to put the document date over here. And you can see we just leave this document type as it is, don't make any changes. And for reference, I can put that same reference number also just to make it consistent. And here I'll say document header text, correcting moon trading posting. There it is. So you have incorrectly put that over here. I'll put it in the clearing text over here that I can put more information over here. Moon trading posting. There it is. And no need to do any changes here because we are doing a transfer posting with clearing. So with this transaction, you can do multiple different type of transaction, but we'll stick to the one that is to post with clearing. That's why you can see automatically these have been selected. Posting key, we are going to post to the correct vendor. So let's look at the posting key, what we need to choose. We need to choose something for a vendor. We are going to post the credit entry for the vendor. 31 is a default choice for that invoice because we are going to do an invoice transaction to the correct vendor now. And account, I'm going to choose that vendor now. I have posted incorrectly to Moon. Actually, it should have gone to another vendor. So let me choose my correct vendor. I'm going to put city of Chicago, have some other vendor, and I'm going to use this vendor, Star Enterprises Limited. So that would have been the correct vendor where the invoice amount of $1,080 should have been posted. Press enter to continue, and you'll come to this screen. I'm going to put 1080 over there, calculate tax, and now I'm going to select this option called choose open items. You can put more information over here under assignment and text. So I'll say correcting moon posting. So it will come in the line item as well. Select choose open items over there, and now here I can specify the incorrect vendor where the amount has been posted. So that incorrect vendor was Moon Trading 9912345118. That here it is. I'm going to select. Account type is the vendor, that's why it's selected as K. It's good. Click on process open items. Click on process open items over there and it should bring you to this screen. You can see by default it has already selected that open item of this vendor. Because I specified $1,080, it just automatically picked up that first line item. If you had multiple line item, it might pick on some of the first line item which is already present over there. If there's any differences, you might see the differences over there and you can specify the difference posting as well. But we're just going to keep it simple because we have put that exact amount of what was there initially in that invoice. So it's the same amount, so there is no issue over there. That's why you're saying not assigned 0.00. And we'll simply post a transaction. That's it. So you can see the document number which you have posted for Moon Trading is already coming up over here with the document date and the document type as well. So that's already been selected. This is how the system will know to which document and to which vendor it should clear, because we have specified the vendor earlier. As you can see, Moon Trading is coming up. System has already selected the document type and the document number, and the system knows that okay, it should clear this and post it to the correct vendor which you have specified in the first screen, that is the Star Enterprises. And now let's simply click on this to post a transaction. And you can see document was posted in company code M001, and you're getting a new document number as well. And now if you see display the document which is posted now, the Star Enterprises has been posted with the vendor invoice amount of $1,080 credited, and Moon Trading, which was incorrectly posted, has now been debited. So now Moon Trading should have been offset and should have a zero balance by now. And you can refer this back to the slide which we just saw, where I've highlighted what are the postings will look like. I use that Sharp and Staples example. Just refer back to that slide and you can see how these debit and credit postings have been posted. Now let's look at Moon Trading balance and see if it has been cleared. I'm coming back to my vendor line item display transaction. Let's execute this now and we'll see when I try to execute this, it says any open item, it says no item selected because there are no open items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all items and look at all the entries. Press execute again, and now you can see it's been cleared. That's why you're getting the green boxes over here. Initial document we saw was that KR vendor invoice document of $1,080. This used to be an open item. If you just rewind back the presentation a few seconds ago, you will find that it would have been red over here, and with that document KR and with this document number with the amount over here. Vendor open item, this was the initial open item we did. And then after we did the correct posting with Star Enterprises, we had this document number coming up with document type AB and $1,080. And this has referenced this document and has automatically cleared. So we had gone from the red status to green status, from open to cleared items. So now there are no more balances for Moon Trading regarding that incorrectly posted vendor. And if you refer back to Star Enterprises, I'm just going to check that now, and you'll see it should have a open item coming up over here. There it is. So this is how we can do posting with clearing transactions. So if we had some kind of a scenario, we have incorrectly posted a vendor invoice with the wrong vendor, then you can post with the correct vendor and use this transaction to clear that old line item and post with the new one. So this makes it much easier rather than reversing and reposting multiple documents. Now let's look at another scenario for clearing, and that is account clearing. So for example, a vendor sends you an invoice for $200, and probably there are some items are not good, or the service was incorrect, or they have billed for the wrong items or the wrong period. There could be many different type of reasons, and you have already posted the invoice, but you have not made the payment yet. And then you realize there is a mistake with that invoice. You contacted the vendor, and the vendor also has accepted that, and so vendor said, okay, you don't have to pay that, we will send you a credit memo to offset that invoice amount. So the vendor has sent you a credit memo now for $200. So you have already made this posting in your system, that is the invoice transaction of $200. So now you're going to post a credit memo for $200 and clear the two open items. So when you post an invoice for $200, the standard entry will be an invoice entry with document type KR. You will be a credit entry against that vendor for $200. And then you will post a credit memo. So you use another transaction, you'll post a credit memo, and you'll put this item over here. It will be a debit entry for $200. And then we can use an account clearing transaction, clear these two open items, then it will turn into a cleared items. So this vendor has zero balance. So there'll be a clearing document generated. Now let's see how this will be processed in the system. So let me post the invoice now. I'm going to choose a vendor. I'm going to use an existing vendor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 120. I think I have one vendor over there. Here it is, Universal Supplies. I'll use that one for 2020, and I'll say um, clearing 01, and then put the amount 540, and just give actually put the INV01 just to keep it a bit more meaningful. Reference invoice 01. Calculate tax. Select the tax code E1 over here and test over there. GL account 5 series. Choose something for that. Office supplies expense amount. Put the asterisk sign and then select the cost center for that. Relevant cost center. It's going to scroll down and choose the cost center. It is, there we go. See, I'll choose that cost center over here. And let's simulate. If it's all good, then I can proceed with the transaction. And we'll do the posting now itself. And click on post. Invoice gets posted for $540. That was the first step. Now we'll do the credit memos in the same transaction itself. That's entering the vendor invoice. I'm going to choose the credit memo option over here. Specify that same vendor 99123. That is, it's coming up over here. Also specify that same invoice date, so you're making it more meaningful. Or if the vendor has put a different invoice date in the credit memo, you can specify that as well. So for example, if the vendor specified 1004, you can put that over there. Reference, sometimes the vendor might give the same reference ID as well. Or if you have a different reference number, you can specify that as well. Amount, I'm going to specify the amount. Same amount, calculate tax. Over there, specify E1. Press OK to continue, and then you can see the document type also going to get changed because it's a credit memo. Calculate E1 over there, put some text for now, say test, specify that same GL account, make sure the entries are the same. So I'm going to specify the same office supplies expense, amount will also be the same. I need to specify the cost center. Just choose the cost center and then choose the right cost center, and then we can proceed with that. We can also go and specify the cost center over there. There it is, here it is, here it should come, and specify the cost center, same cost center C, that is C001, press enter. Simulate the transaction, and you can see the entries over here. Now we can see as a credit memo, the posting key is 21 and it's debited in, so you can see for the vendor it's debited. Normally for invoices it will be credited. You can see the entries are all the opposite direction because it's going to be a credit memo. Now post the transaction. So that new document has been generated and the document has been posted. Let's look at the open item entries now. Now let's look at the line items. We specify the vendor account over there, company code, and just look at the two line items. This is the original invoice. You can see the document number over there, and this is the credit memo we posted with document type KGO coming up here as well, and the document number. Now you can see in the system it's giving a zero balance because the amounts are netting off, but still it's an open item. It's not been cleared yet. So now let's look at how we can we can perform an account clearing. So account clearing means again, once we're just doing for one specific account, we are clearing the open items. So let's do the account clearing transaction. We come to the easy access menu path. You can use the short transaction code F-44 or you can use the appropriate Fiori app as well. I'm going to show you this easy access menu path for the example. F-44, let's click on that. Let's specify the the vendor account over here. 99123452120. That's the account I just did the invoice and the credit memo for that. Just click on process open items over here. And because I only had two open items already been selected, 540 and 540, make sure it's selected in blue. If you have multiple open items here, you need to select which are the two ones you want to clear, or sometimes you can even clear five or six items also. It depends on which are the amounts you want to select. But the debits and credits has to be equal to zero. Then only you can proceed with the clearing. So these have already been selected, and just simply click on post. Document has been posted. Now let's go and check the vendor open item to see if they have been cleared. Now let's see if there's any open item. There should not be any open items because both should have been cleared. So we're getting a message saying no item selected. That's good. We can also select the cleared items and see which are the items cleared, or to make it simple, you can just select all items and then it will display both the open items as well as the cleared items. Let's execute that now. And you can see the document has been cleared, but an extra document also has been posted. That is the clearing document. So this was my original invoice document. The KG was my credit memo, and now a new document has been posted with offsetting entries 540 credit and 540 debit to offset these entries, so totally coming to zero. So when you do account clearing, you get a separate clearing document. So this is the clearing document. You can see it's coming out this section. Also, this clearing document will be referenced for the invoice and the credit memo. So you will have an entry in the system saying that this is the corresponding clearing document. So let's look at the original invoice once again. We'll click on that and we'll go to the main display of the invoice in the vendor document. So this is a document line item, and you can see in the clearing section of the document display, you will have a clearing date as well as a clearing document number. This field will get filled up once you do your clearing transaction, which will not be seen before when you do a normal invoice. But once the clearing happens, the system will always put the corresponding clearing document in the original document over here. So if you go and view the document again, this was the original invoice and these are the expense items, and we'll see the clearing transaction happening. Just double click on that and you can see this has been cleared over here. So that's how the system always maintains integrity. It will always have the corresponding clearance document number against the original invoice. This is the credit memo which has also been cleared. So we can have a three-way matching. You can see the original invoice, you can see the credit memo, what was the clearing document, and it's all been referenced correctly. Zero outstanding balance, everything is in status green. So we saw some examples of clearing. We saw a posting with clearing transaction where we are posting against two different type of vendors. We also saw an account clearing. So within the same vendor, if there's multiple open items, we can select those open items and clear them accordingly. But in a normal scenario in your organization, you'll have thousands of line items, again, thousands of vendors and your customers and so on. So it's not possible to go manually and clear one by one. The system allows you by using an automatic clearing program. You can use the short transaction code F.13 or the relevant Fiori app as well. In this transaction, you not only vendors, you can also clear customers and GL accounts as well using this automatic clearing program. And this program groups together some information such as you can specify what type of criteria you want to clear against. For example, if you're having vendors with multiple line item and they have the same assignment field because they all relate to the same invoice or some invoice related transaction, you can specify if the assignment field is the same, then clear all those open item entries. Similarly, you can also specify a reference ID as well from the header text. If you say the reference information is the same, then you can clear all those open item entries. And you can also specify by currency also special GL indicators and so on. You can give up to maximum of 5 criterions for the clearing transaction. Now, when you go to the SPRO configuration menu part, we'll see how we can configure this. Then you'll have a better understanding of how the automatic clearing program works. Let's look at the configuration setting for to make prepare automatic clearing possible. We look at the SPR menu path, financial accounting, AR and AP, business transactions, open item clearing, and we come to prepare automatic clearing. OB74 is a short transaction code. Let's execute that. And what we need to specify is a chart of accounts. What is the account type? There's a vendor, customer, or a GL account. We give the range and we specify the criterion. And you can give up to 5 criterions available. Most commonly used criterion is the assignment number, that is ZUONR. You can look at the criterion which you want to specify by simply dropping down over here. Another common criterion used is a reference number, which is the field ID for that is XBLNR. So I'm going to select new entries, specify my chart of accounts, M000, account type, let me specify a customer. All my number ranges start from 1 and 2 goes all the way till 9999. So put that in and I'll put ZUONR as the assignment field, which is the assignment number. Most commonly used criterion as well. M000 again, and this time I'm going to specify K for vendor. Again, use 1 2 9999 all the way the range over here and specify that as well. I can also specify the GL account also, M000. S for GL account, my GL account number, I'm having a 6-digit GL account number, so 456. Clearing criterion, I'll put ZUONR as well. You can also put multiple clearing criterions. I'm just going to keep it simple and only specify the assignment number as a clearing criterion and save the transaction. Now that configuration is completed. Now let's look at some vendor line items and see if there's any postings which we can go and clear it. So I'm not going to specify any vendor account over here. Leave it open for all vendor accounts. Select open items. Look at all the open items and let me see if there's any assignment which is the same. Yes, these assignments are the same over here. And with these amounts, I think I can clear that. Negative entry of 1000, but there are a couple of entries over here. I see as, here it is, 1000 and 1100, and probably I'll have to 1200 debit entries, 1000, so probably I might need another negative entry of 1000 to another $200, so then probably can offset this. So make the necessary postings. You can either post a vendor invoice or a credit memo to make sure this all balances out, and you can make the postings to clear. So I'm just going to do a quick vendor invoice for $200, credit entry FP60, and I'm going to specify that same vendor ID over there, make sure it's the same, put the dates over here, put some invoice over there, amount I'm going to specify as $200. I want it as a credit entry, so I'm going to specify calculate tax with tax amount over there, specify a GL account, amount is going to put the asterisk sign and specify the cost center. Just going to keep this way and make sure the assignment is the same. Otherwise, you will get that incorrect. You won't be able to clear. So if I look at this, the assignment number is 2020-03-29 because picking up from some specific, looks like a date field over there. 2020-03. Actually, need to specify this in the vendor line item, not in the expense line item. So we don't have to worry about that line. And let's go to the cost center over here. Where is the cost center? Going to specify the cost center there. And I think here in the details tab, we can specify the assignment. There it is, 2020-03-29. So it comes at exactly the same amount over there. Press enter to continue. So the $200 should come up. All good. Let's check that now. Back again. Go and see the assignment number. Yes, I have specified that. And now let's see if I have got negative 1200, debit 1200, so credit of 1200, debits of 1200. Now we should be able to go and clear all this. Now let's execute the transaction for automatic clearing. I'm going to use short transaction code F.13, press enter to continue. You need to specify the company code, so I'm going to specify my company code, my fiscal year. I'm going to use the select suppliers, that's my vendors. If you have customers you want to clear, you can select the customer and specify the customers as well. You can give a range also. You can, if you just want to specify one customer, you can specify that one customer as well. And if you have GL accounts to clear, you can select the GL account and you can specify the GL account here as well. Now this one, you can also run it as a batch job, and you can put an automatic batch job to run every day or every week or so. You can get the help of your basis administrator and you can perform a batch job as well. So I'm just going to put company code M001, not to give too many selection criteria, fiscal year 2020. Select suppliers. I'm going to specify the supplier, which I just saw had a few line items to be cleared. Press, just go down and just put the clearing date as it is like this. Do a test run for now. Let's see what's coming up. And the system will put all the line items of that vendor. You can see it's coming up here, and then it will show what it can clear in green. You can see its system automatically found out using the assignment. It's the same assignment, and it found that okay, there is a credit entry of 1200 and there are the debit entries of 1200, so it can clear these documents over here or these line items over there. This, of course, it cannot clear because it's found that, okay, there's only one line item over here. The one in yellow you can see is the total items, and this is the actual line item. And if you just scroll down, just give you some more information over there. And if you want to perform the actual clearing, you can untick the test run and you can execute the actual clearing. So I'm just going to execute that. I untick test run, just press enter to continue. And now you can see document 10004 was posted in company code M001. You can see clearing document coming up, and it has cleared all these 4 line items. So now automatic clearing has been successful. Now let's look at items which cannot be done by the automatic clearing program. One is noted items. If you look at the vendor open items transaction, you will see an option to get noted items, or even for customer open line items also, or customer line item transaction, you can also get a list of noted items. Noted items are something like a one-sided entry. For example, a down payment request. You use a special GL indicator. Now, this is not an actual transaction, it's only a request. So it's like you're sending out a request for a vendor to ask him for a credit memo, or your customer can ask you for a request. These are all just information purposes, so you just put like a document in the system. Most likely, you're not going to be encountering any noted items, so this is a very rare scenario. There's something called statistical postings or bills of exchange. This is like a bank guarantee. So, for example, from a vendor, from a customer, you're not sure the customer will make the payment or not. So, you're asking the customer to give a bank guarantee. So, again, these are like items which you just post in the system. Again, it's a statistical posting. It's not an actual financial transaction. It's like a document. You can imagine that you're getting a bank guarantee document. Down payments. Now, customer or vendor can give you an advance or down payment. You can give a down payment to a vendor, or a customer can make your down payment. This is actual financial transaction. However, when you have a down payment, you don't go and clear those items. The automatic clearing program will not clear those because you have to make the final payment, then only you can do the actual clearing. So for down payments, the system will not do the automatic clearing. The other option is the line items with withholding tax. So this is the amount which you want to be withhold from payment to the vendor. Again, for these kind of line items, the system will not perform automatic clearing. Now let's quickly recap what we discussed in this presentation. We saw a different type of open item clearing. We saw some examples with posting with clearing and account clearing. You also note that for during the clearing transaction, the system will always create a clearing document. So for account clearing, we saw that the system was creating a clearing document. During the automatic clearing program, you can group together different type of criterions and you can specify up to 5 different criterions on how the system can clear the open items. And you should also know what are the automatic clearing program, what it does not clear. And we saw a few examples like noted items, bill of exchange, bank guarantees, down payment requests, and if you have any payments with a withholding tax vendor. So for your assignment, practice doing some posting with clearing. So first create a vendor invoice, for example, with vendor A. Then we can use the T code F-51 or the posting with clearing Fiori app as well and clear it with another vendor and see whether that first line vendor A, which has got the open item, whether it gets cleared or not. So practice doing the posting with clearing transaction. Then proceed with the account clearing transaction. So create a vendor invoice and then create a credit memo and then try to clear both these line items as well. So you can use the account clearing transaction. We saw the transaction code to use that, or you can also use a relevant Fiori app as well. So let's look at some short transaction codes. It'll help you to, if you can remember this or just put this in your favorites, then you can quickly execute this. To create or to change a vendor master, you can use a transaction code BP, that's for business partner transaction code. You can also use a manage business partner Fiori app, and then you can copy from one vendor to another vendor as well. You can create the vendor invoice using FB60. You can also use the same transaction to do the credit memo. Or if you want to use another transaction for the credit memo, you can use FB65. We saw how to do posting with clearing and account clearing. If you want to display the vendor line items, you can use FBL1N. And if you want to display just the balances, overall balances for a vendor, a specific vendor, you can use the transaction code FK10N. Now, similarly for customer master also, the master data you can use BP, and for customer invoice you can use FB70, customer credit memo you can use FB75. Now, this is one customer posting with clearing. Like vendor posting with clearing, we use F-51. For customer posting with clearing, you can use a transaction code F-30. And for customer account clearing, you can use F-32. All these have their relevant Fiori apps as well. And for customer line item display, you can use FBL5N, and customer balances display, you can use FD10N.